I can't say enough of how this center influenced me and the benefits that my wife got from it. I thought nobody can take care of her like me, and I knew I had to do something for my family. It's in their hearts that they want to provide the care for the people that deserve it here.
Welcome to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. My special guest from United Way, Amanda Strigle. How you doing?
Hi, thank you so much for having me back. I appreciate it.
Well, great to have you back. And life treating you well?
Life is treating me very well. The children are back in school.
And that's a good thing?
It's a wonderful thing. Don't let anyone tell you differently.
So you get to sleep in until 9 o'clock?
Well, that would surely not be good for my campaign numbers. So no, unfortunately not. Yeah.
Well, we are glad you're here. It is that time of the year, United Way campaign kickoff coming up.
Indeed. Very exciting time. September 10th, we will be kicking off our 2013 campaign with our typical exciting kickoff at Crossroads Event Center. Starts at 7:45 in the morning, and there will be bacon. That's always my pull. Come, there will be bacon.
So you get to make the menu, is that it?
It's pretty much your standard breakfast menu. But I tell you what, it's a great time to come together with different community leaders, volunteers, people from all across the county, coming together for the common good, for one purpose, to really get excited about the 2013 campaign and all of the wonderful works that our agencies are doing within the community.
Now, over the years, because you've been involved with this for some time, is it becoming more of a challenge? I mean, last year you raised quite a bit of money. You could raise more money this year. Is it still?
It's always a challenge. I think that fundraising will always be challenging. We understand at the United Way that our community members are being asked and asked and asked. You know, and we had just had this conversation, you know, it's going back to that same well. And so it's our responsibility at the United Way to build those relationships with folks and let them know what their donor dollars are doing. Because I always like to look at it, it is a donation. It's lovely because it's tax deductible, but it's an investment. And when you make an investment, it's your money, and you deserve to be reported back to and understand what that money's doing and how it's growing. Well, we want to report that back to our community members and tell them how it's growing our community and taking our community forward. We're very, very lucky to have fantastic agencies working with us, stakeholders in our community. There's so much collaboration right now with the United Way and other folks that are really trying to move the needle in the impact areas of education, income, and health. And it's an exciting time. We're just on the beginning of this journey, this community impact journey, where we can report back our results to the community. And I think that that's a part of the whole engagement process. And I think that that will, in turn, make the fundraising aspect of what we do so much easier. It's all about engagement. If people know what their donor dollars are doing, if they can come with me and visit an agency and see those smiling faces and see those lives that have been changed forever for the better, that's pretty warm and fuzzy, and they're going to want to stay engaged and want to be involved.
I know you've done a lot with campaign fund. Is it becoming difficult because so many people need things in today's society, and that you're out, you're getting all those, but at times you just got to say, we only have so much money, there's only so much we can do?
Well, that's an unfortunate reality that we've always been faced with, and certainly when our campaign numbers are down, it's frightening, because then we may have to cut services or lessen funding to those agencies that are providing services. And that's why we take our job very seriously. But we are making sure that the needs are met within the community. And again, as long as we can communicate what it is that we do and why we do it best, I think that we won't be disappointed.
If you're just tuning in, my guest today is Amanda Strigle from the United Way, talking about campaign kickoff coming up September 10th at the Crossroads Center. Do people sign up? Just show up? How do
No, they can RSVP. It is a free breakfast, but they RSVP by calling us at the office at 653-0643, or they can shoot us an email. Get online, and I always say our website's www.uwayfairfieldco.org, which, while is so extraordinarily catchy, just Google United Way of Fairfield County, bring it up, you'll get all of the information. Shoot us an email, give us a call. We'd love to see you out there for the breakfast.
I know you've had some real heavy hitters over the past couple years, many years. Is it kind of a struggle sometimes to get new businesses involved? Are they right at the door?
Do you know what? It is a struggle to get those new businesses involved, because typically a new business, they are working so many hours and they're working so hard just to stay afloat, and perhaps a new business that's just beginning might not have figured out what their corporate social responsibility goals are yet. But I always like to say, I can make it easy for you. Let's sit down and have a conversation. I want to find out what you're passionate about, what your employees are passionate about, and hopefully then we can find something that we do at the United Way that can fit within that model. Because again, nobody does it better than we do. We're all about accountability and transparency, and I don't know that everyone can say that. So that's a much easier sell, to be able to sit down and say, listen, I'm not looking to just walk out of here with a check. I'm looking to build a relationship, because that's how you keep these businesses engaged, and that's why we've been so successful with the campaigns that we've had in workplaces all around Fairfield County, with all of the wonderful companies that have been engaged and have stayed engaged. They don't just do it because we ask for a check every year. They understand what we do, they're committed, they're involved, and it's wonderful.
Do you have many businesses that automatically, just without question?
Oh, absolutely.
And we'll go above and beyond what you need to do.
Absolutely.
You can talk about a few of them if you feel you can.
No, certainly. I would love to chat about that. There are so many businesses that consistently, you just don't even have to ask. They run their workplace campaigns, they get excited about it.
Is that kind of a challenge, workplace? Because I've heard there's some companies, well, we did this and we did that. Now, is that?
I think it is a little competitive,
Yes,
you mean? There's a certain element of competitiveness, friendly competitiveness, I believe, within some of the companies, but that certainly always works out well for us. But they have so much fun with that workplace campaign that it's great. They look forward to campaign time, because here's something fun where all of the employees can come together and give back to their community, and it's a wonderful team building experience.
I know there were sometimes they were having events like they were throwing pies in the faces of people.
Oh, that was one of my favorites.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what we talked about last time. But talk a little bit about some of the unique things that companies have done that maybe give some other companies ideas what they can do.
Oh, absolutely. We have had everything from basket raffles for their special events, where different departments will be in charge of doing something special, and then they'll auction it off. We had one company that did a game show type special event, and I think it was Minute to Win It. That's what, yes. And they had some great fun with that. We have other companies that really go above and beyond. We were talking about the pies thing. That was Dagger Johnson, Miller, Ogilvy and Hampson, and last year, of course, Brian Schonk was our campaign chair. And so the Dagger firm decided they wanted to really put on something special for their special event. And so they did Rock and Roll the Blues Away. And they booked the lodge, and they had 3 fantastic bands. And it was quite a party. And of course, Brian is no longer our chair.
Who is the chair for 2013?
2013, it is Rick Zabrak, the general manager of the Lancaster Eagle Gazette. And he's been doing a fantastic job. He's already very committed to his community. He gets it. He's been involved with United Way for a very long time. So it's wonderful to have him as a part of our team. But I will tell you that we will be having Rock and Roll the Blues Away again this year. They've decided that they had so much fun, and it's open to the public, and I believe the date is November 8th. It's a Friday night. It's November 8th or November 9th.
And that's going to be at the lodge?
It's going to be at the lodge, yes. And it's a $10 cover, and then there's a cash bar and 3 bands, and it should be a blast.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, you were there, right? You were.
Of course I was there. Of course I was there.
It sounds like a great time.
It was a blast. It was a blast. It was a nice time to be able to see people relax a little bit, have some fun for a good cause.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
We talked earlier about accountability in businesses. Do you ever get people that come back that you've helped and said, gee, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't been helped out?
Mike, we get that so often, and that is an integral part of our story and how we build those relationships with individuals and companies. I just recently met a wonderful gentleman who was previously homeless and finally decided he couldn't take it anymore, and he wanted help, and so he went to one of our agencies, and he worked the program. And I'm happy to say that he is now gainfully employed. He's actually managing their Patriot Pride painting company through Lutheran Social Services. He is in charge of a very large crew. And this man, I mean, he is one of the most responsible individuals I have ever met. He's engaged to be married, and he's in stable housing, and he pays his own rent. He's mowing his own lawn, and he's planting his gardens. And to go to his home and to see that, which I had the opportunity to do, and to see this man whose life was changed forever because he just needed someone to give him that help. And that's what you do when you give to the United Way. You're changing lives. It's not just a donation. These are real people.
Right.
And so our theme this year is Be the One.
Be the one.
Be the one. It takes one person to change one life.
That was neat.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
So we're excited about it.
We were talking about, accountability, and I was saying the United Way, and you break it down, administrative costs are very small.
Yes, we've always had very low administrative costs. And what I love about the transparency, anyone can hop online, look at our website, see our 990, see our audits. We also have community impact councils and a board of trustees made up of volunteers within the community that go over our books and the agency's books with a fine-tooth comb. That's why our agencies are working leaner and meaner and smarter than ever before. And so we're very, very proud of the work that we are able to do for as little as we do it for. Yeah.
Do you have, at times, being the campaign manager, doing this, do you go to other counties or other places and say, gee, that looks pretty good? Or do you have like a summit? Do everybody meets once a year?
Absolutely. There are lots of opportunities within the United Way family to idea share and visit. We are the United Way of Fairfield County. We are a separate entity. I always make sure that I'm very clear about that because we fund programs here in Fairfield County that our community has decided are important and that will be impactful. But it is always important to...
And I just want to throw in before, that's not just one or two agencies. There's quite a few.
No, absolutely. That's absolutely right. Over 25 partner agencies. Yes. And we have helped so many people because of our donors. But we're always looking for new ways to help, and so it's a great opportunity. I meet with my counterparts in the contiguous counties quite often so that we can idea share and become more strategic in the way that we're thinking and the way that we're doing things.
Now, is that kind of a competitive thing too? Like, oh, we did this, and oh, by the way, we raised more than you guys did over there. I mean, is that...
When you work in the nonprofit world...
We all play well in the sandbox.
We all play really well in the sandbox because when you work in the nonprofit world, you're not really power hungry or money hungry, so it's kind of warm and fuzzy, so yes, it's pretty great. I can call half a dozen people at a moment's notice in the contiguous counties for advice, sort of bounce an idea off of, and they know they can do the same with me. We all benefit when each of us succeeds because we're all working towards that common good, and when you have the trusted brand of the United Way, when others succeed, even if it's not directly in your county, it's a United Way success, and that just adds to that accountability of that brand of United Way.
We talk about donors and businesses, and a lot of times people say, I can't I can't do this. I mean, I'd love to, but I can't. But there's other ways they can help United Way.
Absolutely. There are a number of ways to get involved and come into the fold. You can give, you can advocate, you can volunteer, because they're all interconnected. And if you can't give the gift of treasure, what about your gift of time? Where can you volunteer? Where can we place you with a meaningful volunteer opportunity that's going to open your eyes? Because if you volunteer and then you see what's going on in our community, it's exciting. You're going to feel good. That new awareness that, you know what, we are moving the needle. We are doing great things. We're changing lives. I want to stay involved. Then you're going to want to advocate for us. And that's what it's all about.
Do youth get involved?
Absolutely.
We've got football players here on the crew.
I know. Hi, football players. I will tap you all for volunteer opportunities as soon as we are done shooting. We are very lucky. We couple our campaign kickoff with our Community Care Day. And so not only will we be announcing the goal on September 10th, but we will be dispatching hundreds of volunteers into the community to work at different nonprofit sites, completing volunteer works, be it painting or cleaning or stocking food pantry shelves. It's a wonderful thing, and we get a lot of kids from Fisher Catholic. So big thank you out there to our Fisher Catholic students who really have been getting engaged, and they're learning very early on what it means to live united.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
That was great. Now there are challenges out there for some other schools to step up.
Absolutely, and we've had students from lots of different schools. Fisher sends us the most amount of students, and they just have a long-standing history with that, and so that's really, really lovely. But I would like to mention that if you would like to volunteer for our Community Care Day, there's still time to sign up. So give us a call down at the office at 653-0643, and we can get you hooked up with a meaningful volunteer opportunity on Community Care Day. Grab some friends. It's a great time to come together with your coworkers, with your friends, with your family. Do something great. And I will also mention that we still are accepting project sites. Call us quickly, but you don't necessarily have to be a funded partner of the United Way. You can be a school, a church. If you have something that you need help with and you are a nonprofit organization, we can certainly send some volunteers your way.
And you might want to define what help is. I mean, because I know I've done planning and painting and things like that, but talk about some of the tasks that maybe some companies might or sites want done. I mean, it's not something that you have to go in and design and rebuild.
No, absolutely. And we will make sure that we place you where your talents are. If you want to slap up some paint in the after-school center and that's going to make you feel good, we are going to put you at the after-school center and you can make it shiny and bright for those kids. If you want to go into a food pantry and help them stock their shelves and help out with the clients moving through that very difficult time of going through that food pantry and having to access these services and be there for that person as they go through and select their food. We, of course, you mentioned planting and landscaping. We have a lot of that. We have some very talented folks that volunteer for us. They do build things. We've had some major work done on Community Care Days in the past, from a maintenance perspective, from a cleaning perspective, and from tearing down barns to rebuilding. It's amazing. It's amazing.
When's the deadline if you want to have some work done? When should they get it?
The deadline is as soon as you can call us.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. Yeah.
The deadline is looming, but we want you to get engaged again, because once you see what we're doing when we come together, you're going to feel inspired. And I think people want to be inspired. And if they were to come out to campaign kickoff and then participate in our Community Care Day and see the direction that we are taking this county when we all come together for the common good, they're going to be engaged, and it's going to feel good, and they're not going to want to stop.
Well, how can you say no to Amanda? The campaign kickoff is September 10th, and the Community Care Day is what day?
Yeah, that is September 10th as well.
September 10th
We like
as well.
to do it all at
one
once.
time?
One big shebang.
And again, it's going to be at Crossroads.
Crossroads Event Center. Breakfast is served at 7:45.
Be out of there
by around 9. We dispatch our volunteers at around 9 o'clock. And certainly don't feel that if you have to work that day and if you can't participate with a volunteer opportunity that day, please still come to the breakfast. You'll see all kinds of faces there, business leaders, government leaders, volunteers, students. It's a really great time to see the best of Lancaster, because when you sit down in those tables and you look around you, there's that wonderful energy within the room, because everyone there is trying to move forward in this county and do great things.
And I think you hit it right on the head. A lot of people just, they push behind it. It just moves. I mean, politicians are there, and even people from other counties that come in and just want to see what's happening. Is there any time that you've wanted to do something and you thought, gee, why don't, let's think outside the box here and do this?
Well, you know me, Mike. I'm not really much for thinking outside the box.
Yeah, I know. You're pretty just bland.
I don't know. Every day.
But I mean, is there something you've seen somewhere and thought, gee, we could do that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Those types of things happen all the time. And then it just becomes how do I get started?
Yeah.
And do I have the time for this? So we've started some new things this year. I think you're going to see some changes. But our new community impact model is something new. And it's forcing our agencies to think outside of the box.
No, is that difficult? I mean,
it's very difficult, because now, where our agencies used to be funded based on units of service, basically, okay, now they're having to provide us with real data, okay, that we can then measure, and they need to move that needle. We have bold goals in each of those impact areas of education, income, and health. And if we can move that needle in all of those areas, we can do great things within this community. And now they have to provide us with that, and they have to show us that they are impacting our community in a positive way, and that they're making strides to reach those bold goals. And these agencies are already working so hard, doing so many wonderful things, but again, they're being forced to work leaner and meaner and smarter than ever before.
And we've raised the goal this year. Last year you raised
we raised $1.56 million last year. This year we're going to raise $1.61 million. Yes.
And how long does the campaign? It starts the 10th. How long does it go?
The official kickoff is September 10th,
okay,
and it runs through about February, actually. Okay. But we've actually kicked off so many campaigns. I've been swamped. Our school systems go back early. Right. And so I've been to almost every school building in the county, kicking off their campaign, getting that staff excited about it. So we've done a lot of campaigns throughout the summer. There are a lot of companies that perhaps don't run on a traditional campaign timeline. That's fine. United Way isn't just here, September through December. Right. It's a year-round engagement process. That's one of the ways we're thinking outside of the box. We don't have to run a campaign during that traditional campaign timeline.
A lot of activity going on.
There's always a lot of. We like to keep busy.
There's a lot of stuff going on. So what are you going to do in your spare time when you're not running this? I mean, you going to take on another assignment, do something else?
Yes. I think that in my spare time I will feed and bathe my children. They're always like, "Feed me, I'm hungry." They're so needy. Yes.
I completely understand.
That's about all that leaves time for.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Amanda, we do appreciate you coming in. We just have a few minutes left. If no one has ever been involved in United Way, what would you tell them?
What would I tell them? I would say, call me. Let's sit down and have a conversation, because I want to show you what we're doing. Because too often we hear about, how things aren't like they used to be. I'm here to tell you, wonderful things are happening. Lives are being changed. And we can only do that when we all come together. United Way is the only organization that can combine all of the resources within the community so that we can strategically address not only current issues, but the underlying causes of those issues. And I would say to them, come with me. We're going to go on a field trip. I'm going to take you into agencies. You are going to see what it is that we're doing. You are going to care, and then I will have you for life.
You heard it right here, folks. Right here. Well, Amanda, we do appreciate you coming in. If you have any questions for Amanda, you can call her 653-0643. If you want to go through the website again, go ahead.
Absolutely. www.uwayfairfieldco.org. Just rolls right off your tongue.
Absolutely. Campaign kickoff, September 10th, Community Care Day. Also, if you'd like to be involved in that, get Amanda a call and we'll take care of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for having me in. It's always been a pleasure. And try to slow down a little bit. Just kind of schedule yourself out a little bit more.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. And remember, until we meet again, let's make a difference.
We gotta be smarter about what we bite on, okay? I want everyone to go outside. We're gonna run Red Rover on 3.
What about you, Tony?
I'm gonna run around in circles, flap my arms, and make engine noises like this.
When it comes to playing, we kids are the pros.
We're eating right, too.
We fuel up
To play 60!
Your school doesn't have a program? Be a leader. Start one.
Click today and join the movement.